Starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome everyone to our Power of Branding webinar. I'm your host, Randy Bowers, and today we have got a great webinar lined up for you. We're going to be answering questions like, what is branding and why does branding matter? How are real estate agents leveraging branding to their advantage? And what kinds of problems can branding solve? Along the way, you're going to get to see a lot of examples about how real estate agents are using branding, brands that we have created for them. Here at the Lonas Group, for over 15 years, we've specialized in branding, coaching, and education for real estate agents. It really is our privilege to have you spending time with us today. And in just a moment, you'll be hearing from Denise Lonas, our president, who brings nearly 3 decades of experience at all levels of the real estate industry, with expertise in strategic branding, marketing, and agent broker training. Also with us today is Lonas Group CEO Shauna Naff and our project coordinator, Karen Natali, who are both here to help answer any questions that you have during the presentation. If you do have any questions during our presentation, you can ask those at any time. Just open up the webinar console by pushing the little orange button. You can type your questions in right there, and we're happy to answer any of your questions as we go through our webinar today. You can also email your questions to us at solutions@thelonasgroup.com. Your questions are anonymous, so again, please feel comfortable asking us anything you need to know more about. All right, let's get right to it. Denise, welcome to the webinar this morning. I'm ready to hand this over to you. Are you?
Well, hello, everyone. Actually, this is Shauna Naff, and I began working with Denise and the Lonas Group as a graphic designer about 15 years ago. And as a graphic designer, we've witnessed the evolution of the importance of branding, not from the sidelines, but actually as one of the top movers and shakers in the industry. So it's been very exciting. We know what it takes to succeed in this market and what tools and systems you need to wow your clients. And we're going to show you a lot of ideas today. And sometimes we have people go away from the webinar with those ideas and they're ready to implement them on their own. But if you're ready to get started, know you need help, and that is what we're there for. So at the end of the webinar, we're going to make it really easy for you to get started. So Denise, I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's talk about some of the more common problems that agents have in their business.
Shauna, I'm sorry, we're having some technical problems. Denise isn't able to hear us.
Uh-oh. Okay, do you want to turn it over to me and I can start the PowerPoint piece of it?
Denise, can you say something so that we can hear you over the webinar?
Thanks everyone for staying tuned with us. We'll be able to solve this in just a second. Well, as you guys are working on that, I'm going to go ahead and chat about some of the common problems that agents have. So every agent in their business have problems to solve. Sometimes it's a matter of striking out with sellers, maybe at a listing presentation, because maybe somebody else has got some different, more compelling materials than you do. Maybe sometimes you're not even getting up to bat because you don't necessarily have the lead generation tools that you need to capture those sellers. Maybe you're doing a lot of work with buyers, maybe inventory is a challenge and you're having a hard time finding homes for those buyers. And maybe you need a system for lead conversion or just aren't generating enough leads in your business, period. Other times it may be a matter of you're a seasoned agent and you've got a lot of newcomers in your market, and so you're wanting to have an edge over those younger go-getters. And maybe you are the younger go-getter who's trying to establish a name for his or herself in the business. And when Denise comes on, she'll tell you that that was definitely her a number of years ago in the business as a young agent of 20-something just coming in, and she didn't even own her own house yet. And so she was having a hard time being able to talk to homeowners who were ready to sell, but they weren't really sure if they wanted to sell with her because she didn't have the experience of being a seller herself or a homeowner.
Denise, are you with us now?
I'm with you. Good morning, everybody.
Wonderful.
Great. So
Okay.
Denise, I was just talking about some of the problems that some real estate agents are facing in their business. And so I just would like to just sum up, and then I'll turn it over to you. Developing a good brand helps you stand out, build name recognition, and give you an edge over the competition. So we've outlined some of the biggest challenges that agents who come to us are facing. Randy, as we're getting the PowerPoint going here, can you please poll our audience to learn about some of the challenges that they may be facing in their business?
You bet. Okay, Denise, I'm passing the presentation over to you. And let's start here with our first poll this morning. This is which of these issues most concern you as an agent? So please just pick from one of those lists that we're showing you here on the screen.
Excellent. And if our audience members can go ahead and take a second to answer that question, that would be helpful. So Denise, let's tell that story. When you first started out in real estate, you didn't have a brand. So what were some of the challenges that you faced?
Well, I faced the challenges that I think every real estate agent is having today, and that is that I was finding it hard to get hired and to win against the competition, because real estate, when I started, was extremely competitive because I was in a very highly competitive market with tens of thousands of agents. And in order to stand out and to win in that market, you really had to learn very quickly how to walk in a room and be able to either visually, and I mean visually, captivate your seller or buyer audience, or you had to be able to communicate with a lot of power and a lot of convincing that you were absolutely the one that could give them that competitive edge to win, whether buying or selling. So when I started, I didn't have a brand. In my first 6 months, I sold 0 homes, and it was a disaster. And I went from being the person that everyone said, oh, you're going to be so good in real estate. You love people, you love challenges. This is the perfect job for you, perfect career for me. And I, in 6 months, lost so much confidence that I actually almost went out of the business. And I then decided I needed to change something. And I sat down, I looked at what I could do, what I couldn't do, where I wanted to focus my energy. I got a brand, I marketed that brand, and then all of a sudden, I started to get a phone call or two. And then when I went on a presentation, I was very diligent about watching what things got people excited and what things didn't get them excited. When were they glossing over? And I really learned very quickly that having a very powerful presentation, whether with a buyer or a seller, was going to be the key to my competitive edge. But both of those things required me to have a very strong brand.
Absolutely. And so when you made that investment, what was the transformation that you saw in your business?
So the first 6 months, I sold 0 homes. The second 6 months, I sold 22 homes. And I was in my early 20s. At that point, I was 23 and a half years old, had just sold 22 homes. And all of a sudden, I started loving real estate again. Because what I learned in my own business, and what I've learned coaching and training agents over the years, is that they love this business. They love clients. They love what they do. The part of the business they don't love is the part of trying to find new clients when they don't have clients. If the phone rings, they're like Superman or Superwoman. They just put on their little real estate cape, they fly out there, and they're great at being able to go and take care of those clients. So their client care skills are very good. Most real estate agents have very good people skills, but most real estate agents are lacking in the marketing skills, the branding skills, and how to take those things and make a really cohesive, strong strategy and plan for bringing in new business. So you never have to worry about that, because you're best with your cape on. You guys need your capes on. You do not need to be worried about where the next transaction is coming from, because that provides stress. And when you get stressed, you're not at your best.
Absolutely. Randy, can we go ahead and see the poll results? I'd really be interested to see about some of the issues that are concerning our audience members.
Absolutely. Okay, it looks like most of our viewers today here are interested in generating more buyer and seller leads, but we also have people concerned about establishing their presence in in a market of more experienced people.
Oh, good. Well, excellent.
Well, we're definitely discussing that for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so let's dive into the concept of a brand. There's definitely confusion about what a brand consists of. So can you take a moment and address that, please?
Absolutely. So first of all, when you think about branding, a good brand sends a really strong message out there. It also sets an expectation of who is this agent? What can this agent do for me? Also, when you have a strong visual voice, what that does for you is it conveys very quickly in a visual way who you are, what you do. And I want you to think about right now, for all the agents that are listening, I know you can think about an agent in your marketplace right now that stands out to you. And I can guarantee it's because of their visual presence. They've got a strong visual brand. They match that visual brand. If they say that they're a luxury agent, they look luxury, they feel luxury, their materials are luxury. If they say that they're an equestrian property expert, they feel that. Everything has that look and feel. Or let's imagine it's somebody that is just a really good, hard-working agent and they are reliable and they're consistent. Everything has that feel. Now, if you look here at this, if you look here at the PowerPoint in front of you, you're going to see all these different agents. They're all different. They all have their own unique stories. They all have their own unique voice, their own area of specialty in their business, but they all do exactly the same thing. They all sell real estate. And the key is when you are creating a brand and you're selling, each of you that's listening is selling in a very different marketplace, you need to stand out from all of the other people that you're out there competing against. And that's why it's so critical. And a brand it really is that calling card of who you are, what you offer, what the experience will be for the client that will be using your services. And the key part of branding is making sure that the brand aligns with what you're promising. So if you say, I'm a results-driven agent, you better have some data to back that up that shows that perhaps you get a higher list to sale price ratio on your listings than anyone else does. Perhaps you have a lower days on market number than anyone else has or does. So it is a memory marker. A good, strong brand is that memory marker brand. In our current real estate industry, and this is a huge challenge right now, we have so much visual noise. And think about yourself, what distracts you. You've got Facebook. You got Facebook feeds, you've got ads on Facebook, you've got emails coming in. You have to learn how to stand out. And if every single agent in your office had exactly the same materials, you're not standing out. And it's going to be very hard to compete against them or anyone at a listing presentation. Today's client wants you to be able to come in and to be able to quickly articulate who you are, why they need you, what you're going to do to help them, what the process looks like, and why there is no one else out there that can do a better job for them than you can do. So if you're out there sending out and showing the same materials, or if your mailers are your company generic mailers that everybody else is sending out, that does not make you stand out. That makes you be very generalized, and we don't want you to be generalized. The other thing is if you're using the same kind of social media campaign that everybody else is, your leads that come in are not going to be strong leads. So you have to really think about, how do you stand out in the marketplace? Mm-hmm. How does a brand make you money? And I'm going to tell you how a brand makes you money. Every time you walk into a listing presentation, you're walking in, and what you show people is your resume. It's a resume of what you do. Here's some of the things that I do to market your home. Here's what it looks like and feels like. Show and tell, show them things. This is what I'm going to do to make your house stand out. And that makes you money. A strong brand makes you money when a buyer is out looking for a home and they see an ad that you have that makes you look approachable. Your photograph gets you hired. What you're wearing in that photograph, the colors that you use, the brand, all of those things. Having a great brand, a lot of people look at it as it's art. And this is the mistake that people make. Agents go online and they go, oh, I'm going to go and find myself one of these online logos for $29. And they go on, they do that. A logo is not a brand. A brand is comprised of so many things. The other thing is the science part of branding. The art part is the visual. The science part is, who's your target market? Who are you selling to? What does that target market respond to? And things like color are critically important. People make very, very quick decisions based on color, even when you go to a grocery store. Also, if you're in a particular area, you have to be very careful about how you put that brand together. Making money in real estate is about creating a brand for yourself that speaks to the type of audience that you want. You don't want every client out there, but you want a specific audience out there. Mm-hmm. You know, when I look at, for example, if you look at all of these different companies out there, Disney, FedEx, Apple, McDonald's, every one of them, every company every successful business that's out there has done a really good job of branding. Branding is not just for big corporations. And the thing that I want you to think about, for example, when you think about McDonald's, you don't ever say to someone, oh, we're going to go out for a really nice dinner. Let's go to McDonald's. No, McDonald's serves another part of your day. And that day might be you're in a rush for dinner because you're on the freeway and you've got to get to a hotel before it gets too dark because you're going over a mountain pass and you've got to eat quick because you want to beat that, right? If you want guaranteed fast delivery of packages, FedEx has marketed that they are guaranteed. They're fast. It's going to get there. So the thing about all of these brands is that these companies have invested millions and in some cases billions of dollars into their brands. They've created a message about what their brand stands for. And I really challenge agents to think about doing the exact same thing because it's a critical part of your business that we forget to do. Branding is, to me, this is the most important part of branding. Branding is going to keep you from becoming a commodity in a market today where everybody's asking you to cut commissions. And if all you can do is walk into a presentation, and when somebody asks you to cut commission, if you get that sick feeling in your stomach, which you should, you work hard, you deserve to be paid what you're worth, but you have to know what that worth is and why that worth is especially important to the client. And I want you to be able to walk in to any seller's home, and when they say, hey, can you cut your commission? I want to be able to sit down and show them with a calculation that we don't need to do that because look at the results I'm getting, but you need to have the data for that. Your branding, your marketing, your online social media, visual branded presentation, your website, all of those things make up a strong brand and help you be a better agent. But the key is there has to be a cohesiveness. And the bottom line is you want to be getting more business in today's market. And with more competition, it becomes really difficult. And if you're just plain old tired of cutting commission and you are tired of saying yes to all these extra things that these clients want you to do, then you just haven't done a good enough job of getting that brand created. So what happens is it is showing a big visual picture and story about what your services are so that that question doesn't even come up.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. All right, now let's talk about how brands set an expectation of experience. When you, the agent, are not there in person to give the potential client a hint about what it might be like to work with you, the brand and visuals that go along with that can set that stage, kind of like what you were just talking about. So can you delve a little bit more into that and maybe show us some cool visuals?
Okay, well, let me show you a visual and explain it, okay? So expectation experience are very, very, very important. So let me give you an example. I want you to imagine that you go to the store and you buy a product and the box is beautiful and it's, oh my gosh, the branding is gorgeous, and you get home and you open it up and you go, oh my God, this is so cheap. This is really cheap. It just doesn't feel right. Or let's imagine you're told you're going to a nice restaurant. Well, if I'm told I'm going to a nice restaurant, my expectations are that I am going to a nice restaurant that might have tablecloths and it might have cool atmosphere, and I'm not going to be in and out in 2 minutes. And I remember not so long ago, my husband and I went to a restaurant, and it was a nice restaurant. We were in Maui, and we all got excited, and I went with another couple, and the four of us got all dressed up because we were going to this nice restaurant. And we went up and we, ordered our beverages, and then they brought out a basket of bread, and everything was going great. And the atmosphere was good, and we were right on the water. So our expectation is we're going to hang out there for a few hours. We placed our order, and within 5 minutes, the food was on the table. And the four of us looked at each other like, what's going on here? We expected, even that expectation, when food is you're expecting to stay for hours. And what they were doing at this restaurant is they were trying to cycle us in and out of there very quickly. And as we watched, they were just pumping people in and out of this restaurant to get money. But what happened is we walked away with a shocking experience. I would never go back to that restaurant, no matter how beautiful the view is. If you are told you're going to a nice restaurant like this, you expect the presentation of the food to be beautiful. You expect the tablecloth. You expect really great service. And you probably expect you're going to be there for a bit. But if you walk into a restaurant and this is the experience you get, this feels more fast food. And you didn't go out for dinner to have fast food. Now, in real estate, I want you to imagine that you have invited 2 luxury agents to give you a presentation because you've done the inviting because your parents own a luxury property and have said, I want your help. Can you be here when the agents come over? And your expectation is luxury. So the first agent, Anna Marie, walks in and she's got this beautiful marketing and she can show you an example of a luxury home on waterfront that she's marketed, and she's showing you a nice, clean, simple, very visually appealing, soft colors, lots of white space so you can really see the product, which is the home. And that's the first agent. That feels more luxury. And then this agent shows up, and this here, this black, this yellow, this lower grade photography. And photography, you have to be careful with photography, how pictures are cropped. The picture in the middle of the flyer with the, I think that's a kitchen, or is it a laundry room, or what exactly is it? I'm not sure what it is. If you're not sure what a room is, it's because the quality of the photography is not real good, or the photographer doesn't know what he's doing. When you're at a listing presentation, you can't show up with this kind of generic flyer anymore. It has to speak to your audience. So it's really about matching that expectation. And the thing about branding that's so important is that there are very, very strong brand considerations that you have to think about when branding.
Absolutely. So we've discussed why it's important to have a brand, from having it be your visual voice, standing out in the marketplace, and setting expectations. So now let's switch gears and talk about how the unique agents on this webinar can start to think about their own brands and some discussion points for getting started.
Absolutely. So first of all, I think one of the most important things that when I'm working with an agent that wants to get branded, I want to know, I first of all want to know a lot about them. We have to define and understand the message that the agent wants to deliver. What is the agent trying to say about their services? Also, we have to think about the agent's personality, the agent's personal style. What about the target audience? What overall brand style and feel are you wanting? So someone might come and say to me, you know, I've been selling homes in the midpoint of the market for 20 years. I can only do 30 transactions a year. I don't want to do any more. I don't want to do any less. I want to do 30, but I want to raise. So can you help me move up my price point? I want to go up in price. Okay. That's going to require us looking into that marketplace. What does that look like? What do those homes look like? We have to really look at the overall goals of what you're trying to do. Also, we have to look at graphical elements. Do you and your brand and what you're trying to say lend itself more to a brand that's got a lot of curves, a lot of straight lines? What is the overall feel? Is it more modern? Is it more classic? Is it more unique? Is it more wow and pow? What are you trying to convey? Also, when we look at any kind of photography that we use, and I mean any, we have to be very careful how we use that photography. What is it going to look like? Is it photography of people or places or unique things, or no photography at all? We also have to determine, are we actually using a specific stylized artistic logo? Are we using no logo at all? Just a lot more color and design and style or unique photography? Also, are we going to use a tagline? If so, what is that tagline going to look like? And if we look at this agent here, here's the problem that this agent has. And the problem really is that this agent doesn't have the tools to win at a presentation. What he's got is almost like a hodgepodge of different items, and that creates a challenge when you start putting them all together. And Sean, I know you have some thoughts about creating monograms and special things for, you know, our clients. Maybe you can just address that part of it.
Oh, absolutely. One of the things we really like to do as designers is really get into the agent's story, and especially as it pertains to their current, the current client base that they're working with. So we have done things like incorporate hockey sticks into a logo of the wife of a former NHL player who still works with that organization and works with clients that are buyers and sellers that are from there too. We've also worked with people whose family owns a shellfish farm, and so we incorporate. And you wouldn't think shellfish and real estate have anything in common, but as a local important business, that was important to incorporate that. And so we were able to incorporate some neat texture and do something fun. So we really like to think outside the box when it comes to telling a story, because we want to give agents points where they can connect with their databases
and I think
their clients.
Absolutely. And I think one of the best examples that I can think of is many years ago, I had a gentleman work with me, and he was a cowboy, and that's what he did. He was a rodeo rider. He was a cowboy. And I was the broker at a very busy brokerage in the city. He was a country boy. And when he came to me, when we did his branding was all about the country. It wasn't about the city that he was working in. It was about the country area that he was serving. Even though he came into our city office, we kept his brand very much a brand about him. And what it did for him is everything made sense. Everything matched because everybody knew him. They knew what he did on the weekends. They knew he was a rodeo guy. And now he's out there selling country properties and country homes, and it made sense. It worked. And even if you look at this particular visual, Jason Smith's visual, some of you might think, well, that flyer's not so bad. Or, hey, look at, this a little article he did on homes and utilities doesn't look so bad. His thank you card looks professional. The problem is it's still a hodgepodge of materials. What you want to do is you want a cohesive feeling like I'm showing here. That means, so our clients here, Damon and Lysica, came to us. They wanted to up their price point. They wanted to have a cohesive online presence, offline presence, in-person presence, listing presentation presence, follow-up presence, marketing presence. Everything they did, they wanted people to see their materials. Even so much in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see those are actually beautiful listing presentation boards. Being able to walk into a seller and show these gorgeous art portfolio boards and say, this is the kind of marketing I do. Nobody can touch them when you've got this level of cohesiveness. And to us, branding is about you being able to compete against anyone. Branding is about you having beautiful, eye-catching, gorgeous materials. Branding is about simplifying problems and creating systems in your business. And, even when we look at this particular slide here, Stacy Bias came to us. She was a new agent. She had a really strong background in accounting and numbers. This girl is smart. She knows her numbers, but her marketing was weak. And she wanted to sell in a more luxury area. The photography had to feel luxury. She had to feel luxury. The quality of even in terms of how much color we use, we had to bring the color down and not use too much, really vibrant color. It needed to have more of that feel for her. And creating this look and feel and bringing it across everything you do, that's what branding is. This is an example of one of our clients that came to us, Jason Cook. And when you look at this particular flyer, it's okay, but there's a lot of space that's left here, a lot of blue and white. And Jason's photo looks approachable, great, nice guy. However, Jason is a guy that this photo wasn't capturing his style. It was inconsistent with who he was. Also, the fonts and the elements of this particular piece do not convey who he was. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to give him personality. So now when we look at his after, you will see that everything has that cohesive feel. We've even taken him from being super formal, take that tie, get rid of it, because you are someone that is way more approachable, way more casual, and way more friendly. And he's also very interesting, and he will show up with a brightly colored pair of socks or a tie. We wanted to convey that, but we also had to be careful because the market he worked in and the clientele, we didn't want to go too crazy. Here's a great example of an agent that was using her company materials. And this was the company brand. And it's very, very basic. It doesn't have a lot of personality. And Jen has more personality. We wanted Jen to, you see the before and after, you'll notice that we didn't stick with those company colors. These company colors were not working for her. They were not working for her brand. What we did is instead, we created a brand that matched her area, that matched what she was doing, that matched her sense of style, that matched the type of clientele she wanted. And these brands have been very successful for these agents because we're making it about you. You are the product. You are the person that's being hired. People are not calling up real estate companies like they used to 20 years ago and saying, hi, could you send out your agent, please? People are calling you direct. And the day that phone calls, and I remember this day very clearly, a number of years ago in my own brokerage, probably 15 years ago, when they announced that all agents now, and it was with the development of the cell phone, all agents would take their phone calls direct. Phone calls used to all be directed through a front desk system. They're not anymore. Your clients are coming direct to you. You have to be able to provide them, that service, and that service that also says, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is how I'm going to help you. Ed and Terry Smith, this is a fantastic story because both of these agents, husband and wife team, they sell coastal properties in Florida. Now, when we look at this particular brand, it looked okay. It looks like there's water in the background. It looks okay. I guess it looks coastal. However, it did not convey their story. Their story is that they basically sold 3 miles of waterfront. They are the waterfront experts. They sell beautiful waterfront. And this, with this bright red and the blue behind it, there's too much going on. We really needed to tone this down for them. And for them, what we created is the more serene feel of the water, with the seagulls and with the picture of the water, and with them also wearing white as not to distract. There's always, even when we do a brand, we help our agents to talk about what color should they be wearing in their photography. But this is a fantastic story about a very, very successful brand, and they continue to sell waterfront, and it's waterfront luxury. Now, here's a great example, and actually, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the before, and then Karen is going to tell you a little bit about the after. So this is one of our clients that came to us, and I just want you to really take in her branding right now. Her branding consisted of really some red color, her photograph, and then it looks like a bunch of little buildings beside her name, a little bit of a skyline there. So Karen, talk a little bit about what we did here.
Sure. Well, this is definitely one of the more unique brands we created. So Karen's tagline is bringing sunshine to Seattle every day. So we knew it had to be bright and very colorful. These are the colors that she favors. And we wanted to do something a little different with the skyline. We see so many Seattle skylines in realtor brands. And Karen is a world traveler. So we created this unique skyline for her that actually has different landmarks from many of the cities she's traveled in. You can see the Eiffel Tower and Big Ben. So it's sort of a fantasy skyline with the Seattle needle prominently featured. And you also see there's a plane in her skyline because she deals with a lot of Boeing clients. She deals with a lot of relocation, so she has international clients. So this is, it really is a perfect brand for her. She loves it, and she's had a lot of success with it.
Excellent. Here's another brand to show you before and after. Cindy Lyon came to us, and she was playing off of her last name, which is Lyon. The problem was she is a master luxury stager. She does beautiful staging in her business. She has a team. Her card didn't represent her team. It didn't represent luxury. And the Lion with the mouth wide open like that is a little aggressive, a little strong for the clientele she's dealing with. So we needed to take into account that we had some things that had to stay. The Lion had to stay, but the colors had to go. Although her favorite colors were the purple and white, she loves these colors. She was also trying to stay within her company's color of the black and purple. So she thought, perfect, love this. It wasn't working. It didn't work with her photograph. It wasn't working at all. So instead what we did is we changed her brand, and we totally changed the colors. We gave everybody a business card on her team. We had everybody together. So now it looks like there's a cohesive, strong team working together, and you get more when you hire this team. So it's really important to lux this up. So we needed it to be more upscale because of the upscale design that she was doing. And that's why it's so important. When you're thinking about your business, you don't have the time to be selling yourself. It's so difficult nowadays because we are so driven by time, and transactions take more time, and there's more challenges today than we've ever had before. But mostly there's more competition. You have to stand out. You want to leave your materials and have a seller be talking to their neighbors, and have a neighbor come in and go, oh, those are nice materials, and maybe they're thinking about selling. If you are listing a property and you want to get business, you're going to send out a letter or something to the neighborhood letting them know that you've got the listing, and that, if they need anything, or if there's, just advising them of what's happening so they know when there's extra traffic, what's going on. Put it on your beautiful branded materials. Make sure everything that you do really represents who you are, what you have to offer, and that there's a point of difference with you, that something's different here. And that's why it's so important. The agents that we brand always, always see a huge difference in their business, because it changes your business when you start to really look at your business now the way that you do when you're branded.
Absolutely. And, if you're on this call and you're thinking, well, I don't really know what my story is, or I don't really have a story. We get that a lot from agents, and our designers, and we are all very much tuned into helping pull that out of you. So we know the questions to ask. We will do the research online, look for those clues. And from all that information, and from what you share, and even your past history, like some people come to us from different careers, how does that become part of your story if it's relevant to what you currently do? So it's easy for us to hone in on those unique aspects of your business. Okay, so now let's talk about how, once the brand has been created, how can it be used to solve problems in your business? Denise, let's talk about that. I know this is a good topic. One of your favorites.
It is one of my favorites, because I don't want to ever just create a brand for someone and create something pretty. The brand, because agents have tried that, it doesn't work. When you just create something pretty, but you've added the art to it, but not the science. The science is, why are we doing this? What is this particular, why are we doing this brand, and what problems will it solve? So solving those problems is, if you don't have the scientific part, if you don't have the engine in the car, you get a pretty car that's going to sit there and not move. When we brand agents, we brand those agents because we want to solve their problems. So let me give you a few examples. Here is a fantastic example of an agent. Her name is Jane Maxon. She's in the Seattle area. She rescues animals. Everybody that knows her knows she rescues animals. She is very, very well known in the animal rescue circles in the Seattle area. Everybody that knows her knows that. We wanted to make sure that that was part of her story. Now, some people would say, well, I don't want to do that. I don't expect anybody listening right now to want to do anything necessarily that you've seen, because you're so unique and individual. It has to be, first of all, what's going to work for you? What about your area? But for her, she was losing at the listing presentation. What we needed to do for her is, and we created these beautiful, large artist portfolio boards that she walked into a listing with a beautiful case, large oversized boards, and she was able to say, I want to show you visually what I do when I market a home. I want to show you what the flyers look like, what they feel like. I want to show you where you're going to be online, why online marketing is so important, why having fantastic photography is critical to getting your home sold. I want to visually show you. And sellers are wowed. And if you talk to Jane today, she'll tell you that she will not go anywhere without her brand and her presentation materials. This next agent, Tim, came to me. He's from Palm Springs, and he came and he said, listen, there are so many agents down here. Everybody down here has a license. I need to stand out. I need to be different. And we talked about that if he wants to be different, what part of the business does he want to be a specialist in? What does that look like? So one of the things we did is we talked about him specializing more in the investment side. There's a lot of people that come to that area that are buying investment properties. So we changed his marketing. We went from more being just, hey, I sell residential homes, to I help people that want to buy residential homes as an investment buy them and make wise decisions. And I help, I can help with that. So all of his marketing changed. That changed the way he did his business, and it increased his business because now he was more focused. And when you're more focused and your message is more focused, you attract more of that focused person, obviously. The next one here is Aranka. And Aranka's problem was that first of all, she's such a client care, almost like that concierge client care type of agent. This is one of my favorite agents I have ever worked with in my 27 years in the business. She is professional. She is dedicated. She is sweet and lovely and hardworking. And if her clients don't win, she is sick physically to her stomach. She loves her clients. She needed a way when somebody called her, I'm thinking about buying, I'm thinking about selling. She wanted something that she could very quickly either send to them in the mail, she could send it in a PDF in an email, something that just conveyed, oh, okay, here's what I do, and I'm a little bit different, and I'm very quick to respond. So it's really about showcasing what she does very, very quickly. Shauna, do you want to talk a little bit about Aranka too? Because I know she's one of my favorites, but I want you to just address a little bit as well.
Well, actually, one of my favorite parts about doing this project, because actually I worked on this project with Aranka, she's not somebody who likes to toot her own horn. And so I was able to work with her, and I went through her testimonials. I was like, Aranka, these are amazing. And she just was like, no, it's okay. Yeah, they're good. Yeah, I love my clients, but she didn't want it to be all about her. So I was able to work with her, and she was okay with how we use the testimonials here. So you'll see, like, on the About Me page, we've got her like 5-star, we've got a 5-star review, and we just kind of put that in as a call out. And then, but one of my favorite quotes that I've ever read about one of our agents is, Aranka is the Michael Jordan of real estate transactions. And so we put that just at the bottom of this How I Work section. And so then she was able to get that out. And those are just these little subtle things that we did while talking about her process. We incorporated the testimonials throughout. And I think that this piece really has served her and will continue to serve her well in her business.
Awesome. Yes, absolutely. The next one I want to show you, this is a very typical problem that a lot of our clients have, is they work with the client, they do a great job for the client is happy with them, thinks they've done wonderful, but then closing comes. And what happens after closing? Well, what we needed to do for our clients here, Andrea and Jarl, is we needed to create a system for them that would be a system of communication for post-closing. What happens after closing? How are they going to keep in touch on an ongoing basis? And yes, they could have used their generic company materials, but that doesn't provide your voice. And we needed them to have their voice in their materials. We needed their information to come out, their particular area, not just a generalized. The problem with too much generalized company materials, it's too general. It's not specific enough, and that's what we needed to do. Actually, I'm going to have Randy talk about this team. This is a fantastic, bubbly, incredible, wonderful team that we have. And Randy, I think you speak best to this because you did so much online work for them. You want to address that?
Oh, you bet. I loved working with Team Advantage and Linda and her husband. They are in Florida, which is, and they were not in an unusual situation. They had a few social media profiles, but there wasn't really much in the way of focus to them. We see that a lot with real estate agents. And like many other real estate professionals, they were using a profile page from their brokerage as their website. Many people who are looking for homes in their area are from out of town, and they're looking online. So what they had online wasn't making the right connection with that audience. So what we did was we added consistent branding to all of their online profiles. Here you can see Facebook, their YouTube channel, LinkedIn profiles, but we also updated several others, Active Rain, Twitter, Google+, Realtor.com profiles too. Then we built them a full website, something that would perform far better than just a brokerage profile. You can see that pictured here. No, we don't have a picture of that one right here. And we used the same branding elements there on that website. So this consistency in appearance and message, it means that no matter where people find them online, they're having the same experience. They're seeing the same professional presentation. They're exposed to the same branding memory markers, and it reinforces what their brand communicates about the agent, making it more likely that they'll be remembered when it's time to do business. Online profiles are powerful. People will scout real estate agents online before picking up the phone, and having consistent branding across your social media profiles and a professional website, it just communicates that you as an agent are a full-time professional who's open for business. And we've had numerous agents get called by a buyer or a listing because they had complete and great looking online presences.
Awesome.
Randy, can you go ahead and poll the audience and see what systems they're missing from their businesses?
You bet. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All the check boxes that apply to you, just click right there on the screen.
Excellent. So brands and materials lead to confidence, and the right tools to having more confidence and motivation to use those tools is what you get with branding. You're more likely to send out your mailings, you're more likely to reach out to clients, and you're more likely to see results. Randy, do we have those results up yet? I know kind of quick turnaround on that, but.
They are still coming in here. Give me about another 30 seconds.
No problem. No problem at all. So Denise, is there anything else you'd like to add about the systems that you have, the systems that agents can create with their brands?
The one thing I really want to get across to agents is that you are a business, and you have to think about your business in terms of, how am I going to make more money in my business without necessarily having to have it cost so much money or take up too much time? And the one thing I want people to know about really, really good branding, and I think the reason why our company is so different is because, first of all, we are not just a branding company. That's not just what I do. My job is to help people solve the problems in their business, make more money, and the way that we have found, the first step to doing that is to get a brand. But branding, when people think of branding, they think of branding as art. I think of branding as art, but branding has to lead to marketing and sales. Bottom line, a good brand should bring in more sales. A good brand is marketing that gets your message out. But in that, what we've done and why we're so different is we take our branding and our marketing and we couple it with strategy and problem solving. So the strategy is where we analyze what are the challenges that you're having? What do you need? Where do you need to go? How are you going to get there? And then the problem solving is, what problems are you having in your business? Oh, you're losing at a listing presentation? Okay, we need to really beef up that listing presentation. Okay, you don't have any, your past clients aren't coming back to you. You need to really, really have a past client program. So all those things are so, so important.
Okay, we've got our poll results in here, and I gotta admit, it's a subject close to my heart. Everybody here is interested in online business identity, websites, and social media, but followed closely behind that, we've got people interested in listing presentation, visuals, and agendas, and that kind of stuff. And some people who are interested in more stuff about lead generation, home marketing, transactional stuff. But online,
so all across the board.
Yeah, let me address that. I just want to quickly address that. What we see right now with most of our clients, quite honestly, is that most of the clients that come to us, I'm not surprised we're getting that list. Here's what I hear. My online stuff is, oh God, I don't even know how to do it. My website's not getting me anything. My profiles are weak. Oh my God, I'm losing listings at listing presentation. And how do I get more leads? I really want to just feed my business. And what I talked about when I started this call was that most of you listening do a great job selling real estate. We don't need to train you how to sell real estate. We need to train you how to think like a branding and marketing machine, which is a well-oiled machine, has a strategy around it. So when we work with our clients for branding, yes, most of them say to us, help us with our lead generation, help us with our online presentation. That's what creating a strong brand is, that cohesiveness of creating something that's truly going to solve problems, not something that's just going to look pretty. So that's why it's so key when you are thinking about doing something, you really have to look into the company that you work with. You really have to look into, why am I doing this? And I'm hoping you're doing it because you want your clients to find you easier and you want your clients to hire you.
Denise, it was very well said. That was excellent. Okay, agents, we have now provided you with a number of things to consider regarding developing a brand. And if you were on this call, it's probably because it's been something you've been thinking about. And we know that developing a brand is an investment in your business, and we don't ever want it to cost you a dime. This should be an investment that pays you back time and time and time again. And if you use the systems that are provided to you and that we help you create, you are going to really reap the benefits of this initial investment. I know it's kind of a hard hump to get over, but I think that we've seen it time and time again that agents who do it are very glad that they did. If you're thinking it, you don't think about tackling it on your own. Sometimes people have like a cousin's, uncle's, ex-roommate who's a graphic designer. You need to find somebody who is a specialist in the real estate industry, and we are really those go-to people that you need in your business. We're making it very easy to get started. So Karen, can you please take a moment and talk to our viewers about the different packages that we offer and how they can get started?
Absolutely, Shauna. So, we know that agents have different needs and different budgets. So we offer 3 different packages. Now, if you think about this in terms of building a house, with Semi-Custom Pro, it's as if you bought the model home. You can make a few tweaks to the colors, but basically you're buying a design that's already built. Semi-Custom Pro allows you to create, take that model home and create some more tweaks. We can add a photographic element. We'll create a name element for you. And with Custom, it's as if you build it completely from scratch.
Absolutely.
So the more specialized your story, the more specialized your market, the more custom you should go. So with Semi-Custom, again, we take the brand of your choice from our gallery and alter some elements. Semi-Custom Pro, we take the brand of your choice from our gallery, alter a few more elements, and again, with Custom, we build it completely from scratch, resulting in a one-of-a-kind story. So whatever you decide, whatever your budget, you can get it done with Semi-Custom or Semi-Custom Pro. But if you really want your story fully told, the Custom brand is the one for you. And then once your brand is complete, then it's just a matter of applying it to the templates you need. So each of our branding packages comes with this basic set of materials, plus an additional 6 credits that you can use to solve the unique problems that you face in your business. Or you can choose from one of our bonus packages that will address the specific challenges you might have. So our bonus packages address some of the common challenges that agents have and that many of you on the webinar indicated that you're interested in, like the listing presentation package, or geographical farming, or an open house system. If you're interested in one of these solutions, we can help you figure out which is the best fit for you. As for pricing, our branding packages come with financing, starting at just $199 a month for 12 months, which makes it affordable for anyone in real estate. The only question you need to answer is, how custom of a story do I want to tell? That, combined with your budget, will indicate which package you need.
Awesome. Karen, thank you very much. So basically, everyone that's listening, we want to help you. If you want help with your brand, absolutely, please get in touch with our office. You can email us directly. You can call our office directly. And also, I think, Shauna, there is a special branding add-on for the next 24 hours. You just want to talk about that?
Well, it's a surprise. Surprise. Actually, it is a pretty cool branding add-on package. So you're actually going to get a free buyer or seller package in your brand as well with our stock content. So it's a great package to get started, and that you can work. You can have a cover that works for like even a CMA or a home book or something like that. So you've got a number of different ways that you can take advantage of that special add-on package.
And also, I would like to say that for anyone that does contact our office before Monday afternoon, I would be happy to set up a call. Personally, I would love to do a call to find out specifically from you, what are your personal challenges? Because I think it would be really helpful for you to have an opportunity to speak with me directly. And let me just take a few minutes to really help you zone in on maybe what you are missing, and maybe I can help you direct that. And that is, I have some time available next week on Thursday, And that is for today's call only. I don't normally do that, but I do have next Thursday morning available. So I think that's great. I want to thank everyone that has joined us today and has taken the time out of their busy schedule. The one thing I just want to really have you think about is that, you know, I know that so many of you listening are such good agents and you're so good at what you do, but you don't get the business that you deserve. And you don't get it not because you're not a great agent, but you just haven't mastered this stuff. And you know what? You're good at client care. Stick with that client care and let us help you with becoming the agent you should be and that you deserve to be from an income point of view. And we definitely are the company to help you get there. So thank you everyone for joining us. And again, we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much.
Well, Denise,
Thank
thank
you.
you for all that great information. And again, people, if you want to pursue this, you can get in touch with Karen at 360-527-8904, or you can reach out to her by email at Karen, K-A-R-E-N, at thelonusgroup.com. Thank you, everyone, for spending your time with us, your valuable time, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. Have a wonderful afternoon.